Good morning. I'm early, as usual, and I'm outside today. I'm outside because we have guests, and I'm going to talk about my message. No, it's early. God, it's beautiful out here. It's cold. I have a sweater plus basically a blanket on. It is 61 degrees and absolutely beautiful. Hmm. Nature. That's what we are. That's why it feels so good to be in it. Most of the time. Maine just got dumped on last night or yesterday all day. We got four. Some places got 2 feet of snow. Not any better or less than this. It evens out because it's freaking hot here in the summer, and it's beautiful in Maine in the summer. Most of the time. Well, some of the time. When I think about leaving there, leaving the bugs behind. The thing is, you start getting nice weather up there and the bugs come out. You can't just sit without being. You can if you have garb to protect yourself from being eaten alive. Ooh, okay, it's 9 o'clock. So, what I wanted to talk about today was this message. It's not for everybody. Not everybody. Good morning, Cynthia. It doesn't say, it says 0 viewers, but I'm so glad you're here. Ah, you're just amazing. Ah, love your pose. I just love you, girl. Anyway, someday we gotta meet, but we don't go on the road anymore. Our boss got moved to it. We got a new boss, and he's not into sending us across the country anymore to get vehicles. Whatever. Who knows? I'm not writing it off. I don't know. That's the best part. I don't know, and that's okay. But this message is not for everybody. Not everybody can connect with it, and that's okay. If it's going to resonate with the people that it's supposed to resonate with, and you feel it. You feel the truth. Defending or fighting comes from that place that feels it needs to protect something. That's what happened as we started growing, as we were little empty babies knowing nothing. We started taking on the belief of being a me, and then I can do something wrong is the message. So it hurts when you're a little one and they say, "Bad boy, what did you do that for?" The energy Seems like you did something wrong. That's the message. So it's stored in the body as pain. It's walled off in the mind. There's a part of your mind that just doesn't know what to do with this pain in the body. It just gets stuffed in the body. That's what's called a trigger. Well, I had no idea I was going to go into this. So, whenever, so this storage, which are beliefs stored in the body, creates a barrier around the heart. The love, the happy little baby, as it gets older, the protection starts coming, the walls around the heart, impenetrable walls a lot of times. And this message can cut through it if there's a little bit of willingness, as Hope says, right, Cynthia? Just a little bit of willingness is what's needed because you are not those thoughts and the pain inside. That pain is the body. When the trigger, when somebody says something and it triggers hurt, pain in the body, right then you know that you're believing something about yourself, not about them, about yourself that hurts. It's not true. You know it's not true because your body's letting you know. Your body is your barometer to let you know that I'm believing something that's not true. Doesn't that seem so simple? It seems so simple to just surrender to that body. Okay, this hurts. What am I thinking and believing about myself? Not about the other person, about myself. That's not true. Because we believe that we are these bodies and minds and all those triggers and pains. Each time, can you imagine each time you feel contracted? I automatically breathe because it's all about breathing. Because the minute you follow that breath with who you really are, the awareness, the essence of whatever's making this work, God, love, that awareness isn't born and it doesn't die. It's nothing. The thought made me. When we look in the mirror and say, that's me, that's not who you are. And when you come from that thought made me, there's a lot of pain and suffering. Beliefs about a me that aren't true because there is no me. You will never find a me inside. They've never cut open somebody's brain and found the command center, the me. Thoughts come and go all day. They don't shut up. It's about whether we're taken down the road on them or not. Because you will have. So let's say there's a trigger. Say someone said, Lori, you're a piece of shit. If I believed that subconsciously, if there was a belief in there that I'm a piece of shit, there would be a trigger. There would be a response in here, a contraction, a pain, saying, ugh. And then usually it's blaming the other person. But if you want to be free of this belief in the me, you can, each time there's I'm a victim of life. That's what that is. That's what that contraction is. I'm a victim of that person or whatever's happening. That's what causes the pain inside. But that's your freedom. If you want to look inside and say, okay, my body's telling me th- that I'm not that. There's a belief that I am that, whatever they called me. Because if somebody called me a pickle, there's not going to be a contraction here because I'm not a fucking pickle. I've never been a pickle. There's no subconscious belief here that I'm a pickle. So it would just pass through. But if it's something that hurts, triggers a trigger inside, you know, the trigger is the mind reacting to what was said. The pain from when I did something wrong. Ugh. Like, say you were doing something for somebody and you, quote unquote, messed it up, did it wrong. What if you could never do it wrong? Imagine. Can you even imagine if it wasn't possible to believe you're doing something wrong? Because most of us, back when I worked at the grocery store years ago, my boss would go away for a day or whatever, and I was left in charge. Yeah, I was left in charge, and already what was being believed, he's given me a list of what he wants done. I'm feverishly writing it down. But underneath there was a thought constantly saying, "You're gonna fuck this up. You're not gonna do it right. He's gonna come back, and he's gonna be disappointed because blah, blah." That's the train of thought. That's bullshit. That feels inside. If you can stop and take a breath and go, wait a minute. It's in the future, first of all, which is never true. There is no future ever. You can, I noticed Peter calculating the money if we do blah, 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 blah. It makes his mind busy, keeps him entertained, keeps his body and mind entertained by counting up shit, counting calories. He doesn't count calories, but counts. Oh, I used to count time, sleep. If I didn't get the amount of sleep, I was gonna have a shitty day. Then it's constantly counting. It's tallying up. If somebody pays for something, oh, I gotta pay back. I gotta leveling. It's always trying to. It's just the mind going crazy constantly. You can be attached from that, from each belief. Every time somebody calls you something or does something that there's a reaction to inside, pisses you off, there's your opportunity to go inside, not blame that person, but thank them. Say thank you. Really. Even if you don't really feel it in the moment, you can say thank you and then remove yourself and see where you're already believing that. Because they brought the trigger out of you where you can see it. Instead of being subconscious, it can come to the front and go, okay. Does that make sense? If you have that kind of awareness, it can change everything. It has the power to change everything. Can you see that? And if this message doesn't resonate with you, let it go. Because literally, this is not. It's only for someone who resonates with it. Because we are taught that there's a God in the sky damning us to hell if we don't do right. So there's a belief right there that I can do wrong. What if that's not possible? What if everything's happening exactly the way it's supposed to happen? Imagine. And you just surrender in each moment when there's a wanting to fight life, resist life. Whatever you resist, persist because the pain is in you. The idea that it's wrong is in you. It's not out there. Life is just happening. It's how you react to life that either makes this hell right here or heaven. Literally. It brings me right back to Mom. She lived Gloria's life, the label, the me life, not hers. So we went to a psychic medium yesterday, and because Mom had said she lived Gloria's life, not hers, but she said she didn't think I was living mine either. And I questioned her, and she didn't answer me. She wouldn't answer me, even when we had the little talk when she woke up, when I didn't think we were going to see her again, see her eyes again. You know, that's another thing. When I say see her, it seems like, because even when Dad was dying last year, when I fed him and we locked eyes, it seems like the eyes are a window to who we truly are. I don't know if that's true, but it feels it to me. Check it out for yourself. Don't believe me in all of this. Don't believe me. Just check it out. See how it feels inside. Because as soon as, when I fed Dad and locked on that one eye with him, oh my God, the love I felt. I never had that experience with my dad before. But I do look in, it's opposite on this computer. I use my left eye and look into their right eye when I'm talking to anybody. So I can really listen, because I never used to listen. So when I was feeding Dad, it was so clear that I could see his essence. And then when Mom was being drugged up after they took everything away from her and she was still alive, but we couldn't, it was basically like she wasn't there until she opened her eyes. I said, hi. I didn't think I was going to see you again. That body was laying there the whole time, but it wasn't her. Ooh, okay. This is, hi, Michael. Oh, thank you. I literally just saw this, Michael and Cynthia. I literally just saw. I didn't, I already didn't consider that body who she was. And when her eyes opened, I could feel that love, that oneness that we are. When you look in somebody else's eye, you're feeling that love, that oneness that moves the trees, that makes the ripples on the water, that makes the sand do what it does. It's nothing. That's what, okay, to me, this is what I'm seeing lately, is that's what God is. It is not a man in the sky damning you to hell for doing wrong things. And there is no hell except here when you're believing that you're this body and mind. Full stop. When you give yourself credit for doing something or blame for not doing something or for doing something wrong, credit and blame are all part of the human identification that hurts. Even when you give yourself credit for something, that hurts too. That's ego. That's building this up. What did Jesus say? The meek shall inherit the world or something. Because once you don't, it doesn't matter what's happening, whether it's a mass shooting or people being murdered. Hitler. We had a talk this week with my sister and brother-in-law that Hitler was the best leader ever. Yeah, that's a challenge to that ego mind that thinks of, only knows him as a tyrant, a horrible person. What was he horrible of? Oh, believing his thoughts. And then getting other people to believe that too. And I'm not trying, this is why I don't want you to just believe what I'm saying. I want you to feel. If it feels good, then you know. If it feels like shit inside, which killing people feels like shit inside, but he got all those people to believe that the Jews were bad. Wow. That's that's just amazing to me. And the thing is, Jews, whatever, that's not who we are. We're not a Jew. We're not a Christian. We're not any of the labels. A woman, a man. Those are labels for this. Literally, when you label me, you negate me. I was labeled bipolar by my sister when I because when I had my first awakening and when I was 35. There was so much love. I didn't know what the hell happened, honestly. But there was so much love coming out. It was high, major high, and then it came down. So the label, she labeled me bipolar. So I was resisting that label. Plus I had a wall up against her. A wall came up after when the depression came, because what comes up must come down. It's not about up and down. It's just about being, being neutral. Anyway, so there was a wall. There was a because I identified with it. I identified with that label. 1,000%. Yeah. When you identify with a label subconsciously, you don't know you're identifying with it. I had no idea what the hell happened. I was lost. That's what got me into non duality and Lisa Carnes and all the rest of it. Byron Katie was the first one to tell me at that school that Hitler was an innocent child, just like all of us, believing our thoughts. That's it. Every single person that killed another person, the person isn't real. In this illusion, it is literally projected. A baby does not know there's a palm tree. The baby doesn't know it has eyes. It's not identified. You could call it every name in the book. Give it the finger. All those are all meanings that this mind is taught. We were playing cards with a bunch of people last night, and two of them were from Norway. And apparently the word for bullshit in Norway doesn't mean anything. Literally nothing. But here, see, the labels. We put meaning on words. Just like calling somebody a nigger. Now, the black people call themselves nigger, that's okay, but if a white person does, what? 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 We put so many meanings on words that don't have to be there. It just doesn't. Just like the kids today, they, them, furries, whatever the hell. Labels. Labels. More labels for this. Just another distraction from what we truly are. Is not born, doesn't die, and is not on a timeline. Timeline is this: born here, die here. But we don't want to talk about dying because that ego does not want to die. But Dr. Dyer, right, Cynthia, used to say, don't die with your music still in you. And your music is who you really are. Your music, your essence. That's who you are. And when you're coming from there, it doesn't matter what happens. And that's why I don't even know if there's a finish line. Some people say they're done. I have some people that I look to that they say they're done. I don't know if that's real. being done. It seems like it's just an ongoing process. It seems like those identifications, those beliefs are endless, but there are some people that say the me is gone. The identification with the me is gone, and what a different way that is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't claim to be there. I don't know, because there are still some things that freak me out. But I have to go inside, not blame that thing that's happening or the person that's delivering it. I have to go inside. And it just seems endless at this point. Do you guys got any questions? Because it seems like it's done. I don't know if you guys look at in the beginning I showed this. You guys weren't here. Look at that. Look at those white birds over there. Can you see the white birds? Oh, on the edge. So beautiful. Nature. That's what we are. Those birds don't need any money. They're free. They don't have a mind. The first thing we do as humans is want to feed a bird or whatever. We want to feed an animal. They're not lacking. That's only because we think they can't get food. They got plenty of food. There's no scarcity. Mother Earth is amazing. Yeah, that's that. You know, when I read The Power of Now, Eckhart said, we are destroying the very thing that sustains us. It's sustaining us. Well, these bodies and minds, which are here to play. You know, when we take anything serious, we know we are here. Because this is about play, having fun and playing. When you're not playing or you don't have that joy feeling inside, you know you're here. Because this takes everything serious. Oh, what if? Oh my God, something's wrong. Oh my God, I did something wrong. They did something wrong. Oh, it's. Take a breath. Take a breath. Go inside. Feels so good when you just. Actually, your body, a sigh, it does it on its own if it's too much. But the minute you consciously take that breath right down deep and follow it, you can't be following that and still entertain. Then the thoughts just go. And then more thoughts start coming, and then you lock onto something, and down the road it goes until you take another breath. But it seems less as you challenge the thoughts. Get back into the body. Where do you feel it? Because we're not taught about where we feel it in our bodies. So when we start identifying where it hurts, where it's being felt, you can breathe right into it and let it go. I was talking with somebody this week, and she was breathing so shallow. Her body was almost convulsing. It's like I kept trying to say, breathe. If you're watching this, I love you, and you know it. But I couldn't entertain it anymore. I just kept saying, you got to breathe deep. I had to hang up. I've never hung up on anybody. Well, I did hang up on my mother one time, in almost 60 years. But I apologize. That was my trigger. Anyway, I couldn't entertain it. She wasn't a little bit willing. Got to be a little bit willing to breathe and get out of those thoughts, because the thoughts will take you down. That's what causes people to commit suicide. The thing is, it's okay if the body is gone. They're not gone. My mom isn't gone. She's still here. That's what psychic medium was all about. They didn't go anywhere. Where are they going to go? They weren't anything. Just that body is gone. And if I don't know. I sometimes it's just, I don't know. That's the best place to be. I don't know. Because that I know mind, a lot of times I can be an I know mind when I get into this in a discussion with somebody. And then I just let it go and I start realizing, okay, when there's resistance, nobody needs to understand this because who they are is not ever affected by anything going on here. All those Jews, all those seemingly Jews. It doesn't even feel funny to name somebody Jew. What the? It's funny. Um, right now, I was just with playing cards last night, and the thing is, the Chinese are the bad people now. It used to be the Russians or the whatever. There's always somebody that's supposed to be the bad people. That's all this a fear. They're going to take over. They're taking him. No, a no knowing state is freedom. It's true. It's true. That's the best place to be is not knowing, not having to know. If somebody's resisting whatever I have to say, whatever, I shut up. Sometimes the debate gets a little can get there. If I feel like they might be open, it'll come out. If not, just back off. It's okay. It's okay. Because nobody's really suffering. That's what I have to remember. Sometimes when somebody's close to me and they're suffering from their thoughts, I do try to save them. I do. It's just automatic. It's the compassion. It's the compassion side of me. The loving side is pretty strong. I love people. I just love people. I hear so many people say, I want to be on an island by myself because I don't want. Yeah, well, be careful what you wish for. Because when we moved down here and I was alone after the scamming, I was this body of mine was alone, and whoo, that's challenging. I didn't talk to anybody. I just was within myself, which obviously, because I see that life does exactly what it's, whatever you find yourself, this body, mind in, is exactly what's needed for the highest good of everyone involved, everything involved. A hurricane, I can't say that I suffered through that hurricane at all. As bad as it was, even the aftermath, I saw so much coming together of people because a lot of people look at the Mexicans as beneath them. Or we were making meals for them because they were working. My sister's place was underwater. It was the muck. It was awful in the dream idea, but in reality, it was so. It was what it was. It just was. How you react to it is how this is going for you. All right. I think I'm done. Unless you guys want something, question. I appreciate you being here, both of you. Cynthia and Michael. Very much. Appreciate ya. We are going to just hang out here today. Can go to the pool. Eat some fish tacos. We caught the fish ourselves. Anyway, sending light and love right back at you, girlfriend. I love you guys. Have a great week. See you next Sunday. Mwah.